Hello again. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to apply filters and transitions to clips. So I've got a sequence just about finished up, but I want to add some cool effects to it to smooth the cuts between some of my shots and play with the color and try and make this look a little bit flashier for the music video kind of vibe I'm going for. So first I want to add some transitions, and the one I really want to work on is this one right here. It's just a little bit too choppy. So I'm going to come over here, and this is where our filters and transitions libraries are in. So here where it's like a sideways hourglass, that contains all of our transitions. So the most common ones are going to be your cross dissolve and your fade to color, and all I'm doing to preview these is scrolling my mouse across them. But if you go into all, you can look through, and there are some really crazy ones with some cool effects that might really work well for your project. But for the most part, your cross dissolve and your fade to color are probably the way to go. So to apply one of them, you just click on them and drag them on the joint between two clips. And so now we have this nice gray transition block here, and that's showing you how many frames from each of these clips it's using to create this cross dissolve. So let's play it through and see how it looks. Oh, snap. All right, and I think I want that to be a little bit faster, so I'm gonna shorten it. Now keep in mind, transitions are using all of the leftover frames from the clips you're trying to put the transition through, so I can't just, oh, that's a bad example. I wouldn't be able to, let's bring in another clip. Let's bring in this entire clip right here. So if I were to bring this cross dissolve and pop it on there, we're getting this window saying there's not enough frames for it to generate that transition. So I'll just tell it to basically trim this clip enough so that it can apply a transition. So I'll hit create transition, and you might have caught that clip just nudged over to the left. So now this has enough to make the transition. But if I try to make it even longer, we get that red line on the side, which tells us we're out of media. We can't generate this effect without any footage to play with. So that's kind of how transitions work. Oh, snap. And we might be able to do a cool one in between this. Cut here. Let's see if we go to movements. Not liking that. That might be cool. Let's try flashback, and we'll make it really short. Oh, snap. And that works pretty well. So I got a couple of transitions in there. At the end here, I want it to fade to black. I'll throw that in real quick. So fade to color. And shorten that up a little bit. And I'll adjust the audio so it ends at the same time. Cool. And we'll call that good for transitions. Now, let's throw some filters on this to make it look a little bit cooler. So if I click on this icon here, it almost looks like a empty pane of glass going on top of a window, or sure, let's say that's what this icon is. That contains all of your filters. So you can look through, and there are some really cool ones. Some of them get a little crazy, but all sorts of fun filters, kind of like Instagram, that you can throw on. Oh, that one's actually really cool. Sure, let's go with this one, and we'll throw that on the start. And once it's on here, I can click the clip so that it's selected in yellow, and then come up here to our inspector window, and let me click on the footage tab. That filter is now showing up right here. So we have all these meters we can play with to kind of adjust the severity of the filter. And one of the other cool things is we can stack filters. So let's put this random bokeh on here too. So there are tons of video filters that are a lot of fun to play with and stack and see how they all work. But I would recommend doing this step last because it can be almost too fun and a big old rabbit hole that you can go down and spend hours playing around with. Now, on top of video effects, there are also audio effects, and those are really good for cleaning up people's voiceovers or interviews. There are some really fun ones too that I think I'm going to use today that will, here we go, that are just fun to play with. And so for this part here where he's kind of hyping up this cut here, oh snap, I want to make that sound like a chipmunk. So I'm going to take this helium one, drag it onto my audio, select that audio piece, and we're in the audio tab for this inspector window, and I can scroll down and let's bump this up to 10 and see how it sounds.
Aw, snap.
So I'm going to call the sequence done. I'm happy with all the filters and transitions I've thrown on it, and I'm ready to kick it out and submit it. So if you have any other questions or would like one-on-one help, come by the Multimedia Lab. Thank you.